Hi, I'm Celeste and welcome to Find Your Purple. In this video, I wanted to give you a taste of who I am and maybe why I created the channel. Now, it's hard to cram 62 years into a few minutes, but I'll give it a shot. I grew up in the Midwest, the fifth of 7 kids. Went to Purdue University, did my MBA in Indiana University. I love the creative, and I actually toyed with the idea of going to Hollywood after high school. Really a stupid idea, I guess. Everyone else thought it was that I shared it with. And I decided to go to college because being afraid of going to Hollywood and not making it. And I thought, well, I'll get a job, get some money, and then I'll go. Well, as you can imagine, that didn't happen. Fast forward 20 years, I am in a corporation, an executive. I'm married, have 4 daughters, and working at a job that I felt was killing me. Hit my late 30s, my dad died, and I realized I really couldn't continue working. I was very good at what I did. I was very successful at what I did. I could have stayed, but I just knew I had to leave. So I quit my job. I had no idea what I was going to do. We moved to Venezuela, where I started working for the same company as a consultant, and we lived there for 4 years. And that was an incredible experience. I was writing at that point, because writing was a creative outlet for me. I'd always enjoyed it, and so I was finding that was a way I could reconnect with that part of me, that creative side. Came back to the States, and at that point, my husband and I had been married over 28 years, and we agreed to get a divorce. So I had to get a job again. Didn't want to go back into the corporate world, couldn't make money with my writing, so I got into real estate. Period of time, I quit writing. I think writing for me is open everything emotionally. It's just letting it all out there. And after my husband asked for the divorce, literally that day, I quit writing for 10 years. 2012 rolled around, and my second daughter, Elena, said, why don't we each write a book this year for New Year's resolution? And I was ready to write again, so I agreed, and we each started our own books. We'd meet once a month just to talk about the book, how we were doing, were we outlining, how many words did we write, that kind of thing. At the end of the year, I had my first of the Patrick's Garden series. It was Imperfect Rose. And I ended up writing a series of them. And I, again, enjoyed the writing, but I would write, and then I would move on to the next story. So I wasn't marketing them in any way. And I was reasonably happy, but I wasn't 100% happy. I'm not sure anything was missing. What was missing, I didn't try to examine it that closely. But 2014 rolled around, and my dog died. She was 15, and my buddy, that winter. And my mom took ill, and one of my sisters was diagnosed with cancer. In the spring, my mother died. In the summer, my sister died. And in the fall, my ex-husband died unexpectedly. 2015 rolls around, and I'm stuck. I'm kind of lost. I'm kind of numb. The girls are struggling. Come to the summer, 4th of July weekend. It was the year anniversary of my sister's death, and I kind of locked myself up in a room. And several things happened, but by the end of the weekend, I walked out and I announced that I was going to walk the Camino de Santiago in Spain. That's a 500-mile pilgrimage. I was going to start corner of France, go over the Pyrenees, and cross the northern Spain. It's the French way. So I did it. Surprised me, surprised everyone else. It wasn't pretty, hated it some of the times, wish I hadn't started it some of the times, but I finished, got home, and nothing changed. I think I was expecting an epiphany that some people talked about that they had on the journey, or maybe the idea for a bestseller, or maybe I'd meet the love of my life. Something, but nothing happened. So 2016 rolls around, and I've got to get back to my job. I had been living a lot on savings, kind of sliding by, not hunting, marketing for business, that kind of thing, and I could no longer afford to do that. But I did decide that there were times on the Camino that I didn't think I was going to make it. And the only thing that kept me going was going one step at a time. On the journey, I just would worry about today. I would take the steps today and feel as long as I was making steps forward, no matter how shaky they looked, I would finally make it to my goal, which I did. So I thought I'd do the same thing with my life. I didn't like how I looked. I didn't like necessarily how I felt. I wasn't in good shape like I thought I should be. So I got on the internet and started looking up how to do makeup when you have mature skin. What kind of hairdo is most flattering? What kind of exercises can I do? What kind of procedures to help with the wrinkles and the sags? And as I got into it, I started thinking, well, maybe I could find a channel to market my books. And then as I created Find Your Purple, I realized this wasn't about the books anymore. It was about my journey of aging. My mom and I never talked about aging. I don't know how she felt about getting old. I don't know how she felt when my dad died, and she was in her early 60s because she never dated after that. And I wish we did, but it was something we didn't share. So I was trying to have to figure out this path of my own. And I have 4 daughters, and I felt everything I learned they could benefit from. So Find Your Purple became a documentation pretty much of my journey of how to be the best I can be no matter what my age is. I'm hoping as I go through the process that I will see that I will be feeling better, looking better, and living life more joyfully because I'm consciously doing it. I'm making a decision to change my life. And I hope there's women out there like me that will join me on the journey. If that fits you, please join us on Mondays and Fridays when I hope to share tips, products, procedures, anything that I'm hearing and trying that I'm finding is working. And if you have anything to share, please put them in the comments. I'd love to share it. And as always, we will grab our cup of tea, sit back, and let's start sharing.